This is my first prom upcycle. It's getting a little dangerous how much we're taking this suit in. You know, you guys say, oh, you're so fearless. Not right now. Ooh, for a second, I thought these were not the same. Ooh, buddy. Perfection. Ends across the board. Hi, everyone. I'm Angelina, and this is Blueprint DIY, where we remake our clothes to be just as unique as us. Today, I am super excited because we are finally doing a prom outfit. Now, it's not a dress. We'll talk more about that for next week. But today, I am upcycling a suit for a young man who is going to prom or did go to prom, and I want to share it with you guys. All right, so this is how it happened. I have a 16-year-old daughter. She's a sophomore in high school. She has friends of all different ages. So one of her friends is going to prom this year. Wonderful person, an actor, as well as a dancer. And he wanted a specific suit. I'll show it to you right here. She thought that, oh, my mother could do that for you. So she volunteered me. So she sent it to me and asked me if I thought I could do it. And she told me who it was for. And so I took on the huge task. I mean, this is really, really important. This is for somebody's prom. And I remember prom and how important it is. So I didn't take this on lightly at all, but I wanted it to come out absolutely perfect. And I want to take you guys along the journey. If you want to make some like fitted pants, flare leg, or you want to make a suit or a vest fitted, this is how you could do it as a non-professional person. I am not a professional tailor by any means, but I have been upcycling for 11 years. So I'm going to use my upcycling and my sewing skills, and we're going to do everything in our power to make it amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to see the results at the end. You don't want to miss it. All right, let's do it. All right, let me talk you through what is about to happen, what I need to do for this suit in order to turn it into the inspiration. What I had him order was a full suit. He ordered this 3-piece suit from Amazon. It has a vest, it has pants, and it has a blazer. And I told him to get it as close to his size as possible. It's still a little bit big, and we'll make those alterations. And then I had him order an extra pair of pants. It was a little bit difficult finding a suit where you could order just the pants separate on Amazon, but we ordered an extra pair of pants from the same vendor that are big, and we're going to use these as the cut up pants because we're going to make the pants flare. So we're gonna turn the pants. They're actually a kind of skinny pair of pants, which I would prefer they be just regular straight pants, like men's pants, but that's what we can find. So we're gonna work with what we have. And then we are also going to taper the blazer in the midsection, and then also take in the sleeves on the shoulder. The shoulders are a bit boxy on him, hanging down, so we're going to pull them up so that they're sitting right on his shoulder so the jacket or the blazer looks more fitted. And then for the star of the show, for the vest, we're also going to taper that to fit in the waist, as well as turn it down a bit so that we can get that a little bit of open chest action. So that is what we're going to do. We'll take these one at a time and let's do it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is work on the pants. So like I said, the pants were a bit too big on him. So, and I have a video on this. So I put it on him, pinched them together till they fit, added pins there. So that's how much is going to come in. That is actually quite a bit. These pockets are going to be kind of close together, but it is what it is. So what we're going to have to do is take off the waistband, and we're going to take it in along the butt seam and taper it down. This right here is a way that you can actually take these pants out if they're too tight. So I'm going to take this apart and then bring it in more and then put it back together. Have them inside out. This is the back seam, the butt seam. We're going to line these up together, and then we're going to sew them up to where the pins are. Curve as we go. We're going to try to taper it as gentle as possible. And I might move out a little bit because these pockets are going to be so close together, but here we are. We're going to go sew that. Right now, I'm stay stitching everything. I'm not permanently stitching anything because he has his fitting today, and we're going to see how it fits him. I really don't want to finish this until he tries it on, but I want to get this part of the waistband sewn together. So what I did was mark where it needs to be on this end, mark where it needs to be on that side, and then we need to open them up and then fold them into each other and sew them where the pins are. So we're lining these up and we're gonna sew this down so that the waistband matches the other part. We also are going to, I measured how high he wanted the taper to start. So this is probably about right above his knee. And I'm going to take apart the pants to that point, and we're going to add some triangle pieces from the other pants here. So we'll also carefully seam rip this as well. And we're actually going to, because I'm working with tapered pants, I'm going to do both the inside and the outside. All right, so we have everything open, all of our legs open, 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 open. So we're flapping in the wind here. Let's cut some triangles. So this is the extra pair of pants. Whew. We're gonna have to do the triangles reverse so that the skinny part of the triangle is down here, the wide part of the triangle is up here. How wide do we want these is the question. So let's figure that out first. I'm gonna lay them like this to figure out how wide I want this flare to be. And I think I'm gonna cut it a little bit bigger, and then we can always pull it in. We can always reel it in. So that makes this 4.5 inches by 22.5 or 21. So 4.5 by 21. And then we're gonna add 1/2 inch each side for seam allowance. Well, we need this. We need our, so that's a whole inch. 5.5 by 22. Oh, I can actually get it from the, okay. So I have enough. And this has the hem on it, so we don't have to do that, but I'm still gonna make it 22. 22 is here. I'm not gonna take it all the way to a perfect angle because, you know, we need seam allowance. So, don't move, don't move. I'm gonna go ahead and make it 6. Like I said, I would rather cut away than add. Ooh, how did we get way out there? Now this is nerve-wracking because I don't, you know, this is all the fabric I have. You know, you guys say, oh, you're so fearless. Not right now. Okay, I'm only gonna cut one right now, but I am gonna draw the other one because, yeah, if I mess that one up, then at least I get another chance to make the other one right, and it'll give me more fabric to fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw an outline around this one so I at least know what I did cut. So now let's bring in the other pants. I need to serge the edges of that, and I'll show you how we're gonna put this together. We're gonna take each of these. First of all, iron that out. We don't need that. We don't need that line. And then I'm going to, ooh, for a second, I thought these were not the same. They are slightly different. Oh my Lord. It's like slightly different, and that might not be. Oh, what he wants. We ordered them from the same vendor. Okay, so what we'll do is after we serge, we're gonna put that in right there and then sew it on the other side like this. This is how the flare looks. It needs a good press, but we'll do that after we get it approved for how wide it is. Otherwise, we can, you know, we can take it apart and make it less. But right now it's pretty groovy. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next week, we are doing a Bridgerton challenge, and I am so excited for you guys to see what I did. I love mine, and I can't wait for you guys to see all of ours next week. You don't want to miss it. So if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. All right, back to the video. All right, so I'm going to start on the vest. Now, this is where I have it pinned. So just like I always do for myself, I tried it on him, pinched it on the sides, and then pinned where, like how far he wanted it taken in. We're not gonna go quite as much as to take out the pocket, but you can see here, that's about the curve that we have. I'm actually gonna mark this curve because we'll end up having to take this apart, turn it inside out, all that good stuff. All right, so for the vest, I was gonna try to turn it inside out and take it in just like I'm doing everything else. However, because of the buttonhole, that was not possible. So I just simply turned it inside when I did his first fitting, and I clipped it. I folded it in from the collar down, from up by the shoulder down, and I ironed it really, really flat, and we just put a hand stitch. And I let him know that that specific part would not look finished or tailored, but nobody would ever be able to tell from the outside. And you'll see at the end, nobody knew. Absolutely nobody knew. But I felt like that was the best way to accomplish that versus cutting it away and folding it. I could have cut it away and folded it in and sewn it, but I feel like the way we did it from the outside, it looks way more professional. So I'm glad we were able to accomplish that. We're gonna mark it on the back as well. Take this a loose. Hopefully I can remember how it goes. We're also gonna mark this. And what I do when I'm taking something in, I just look for seams that I can use in order to take it in. Nobody's trying to, well, I'm not trying to create seams that didn't already exist. I'm simply trying to see where the seams are, and you're pinching at the seams to see where you can take the garment in. So in order to get this taken in, I have to take the pins out, which also means I'm gonna mark at the lining as well, because we're gonna take the pins out. All right, now pins have to come out, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. And then we are going to find a seam that we can hide at the end. So I think I'm gonna take it apart like underneath here so that we can turn it inside out and take in some of these seams. That way I can hand stitch it back together later and nobody will be the wiser. Now the problem is that these little marks are not to the inside of the fabric. So what makes more sense is to stick the pin inside and do this. Okay, so now we're gonna try to turn it inside out. We have that side turned inside out. And we're gonna pinch that seam and sew it from the inside. Okay, so we're gonna sew that curve on that side. So we're gonna go, this is the side seam, we're gonna go take this in. These look a little weird because once you make a curve in something, you have to snip the edges in order for it to curve freely. So we're gonna do that afterwards. We're not gonna do that now. I didn't even take in the lining. All I did was take in the outside. So we're gonna mark, like try it on them and see how it fits. So it didn't take in too much of the pocket, so that works out. He wanted the little pocket square cutaway, so I cut that away. Monochromatic aesthetic, so that white was not doing it. Also, he is bringing me buttons to replace these. He wants gold buttons, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the same thing, the exact same thing on the blazer on the sides, and we're gonna take it in on this seam right here. So remember I said I'm just looking for seams, but let's focus on these sleeves. I measured right at the corner of his shoulder, and pin, added a pin right there. We're gonna take apart the sleeve from like here where the curve under the arm is all the way to the back side where the curve under the arm is. And more than likely there's 50 million stitches holding this sleeve together. But we're gonna be patient and go one by one. All right, so we have the sleeve taken apart. I'll show it to you from the outside. That's how much we took off of the sleeve, front and back. And it also, this lining is a separate part. So in order to put it back together, this is what we're going to do. We're going to turn it inside out. We're basically trying to take this part of the sleeve and push it up to there. So I'm not going to cut anything away. Like I said, I don't cut at the beginning. I cut at the end. And we're going to turn it inside out. And where that pin is, I'm going to match up the seam of the sleeve to where that pin is. And then we're going to sew it to there. And we're going to see how much like extra fabric we get. I'm not sure. And we're going to pin it all together and go sew it back down. This lining portion at the end will end up covering everything, and I'll have to hand stitch it closed. All right, so this is our first fitting after alteration. And you can see I really only did one leg flare because I wanted to minimize the amount of seam ripping. You can also see that almost all the seams needed to be taken in a bit more. I wasn't being adventurous and taking it in because I just really did not want to seam rip. So they all needed to be taken in a bit more. And we did consult with his mom virtually to make sure she was happy and everything was going in the right direction. So that meant we just went ahead and kept going. All right, so you can see we did our fitting. And I put one of the sleeves back on. Look how good that looks. I need to press it out right there. But now I was nervous that that changes like the circumference of the circle for the sleeve, but I was able to get it to work out. So for this part, I opened up the middle seam because opening up the bottom seam is basically right where I'm taking it in. So I just didn't really feel like doing that. And then we're going to turn this inside out. And I'm looking for my pins, and my pins are telling me what seam I'm taking in. So I'm taking in this seam. This is under the arm. I'm gonna taper from under the arm, and I'm gonna go out towards where I have the pin. It's getting a little dangerous how much we're taking this suit in. A little bit would have been, yeah, it would have been better if this suit was a smaller size, just to be honest. That would have been much better. It would have had much better results. But we're taking in about 2 inches on each side, which is really, for a suit, is quite, yeah, it's quite dangerous. But so we're gonna take in 2 inches. When I get to between the lining and the actual suit, I'm gonna take this part apart so that everything can sit free, and we can take that stitch on right on around, and once again taper underneath the arm. And I'm not gonna cut any of the excess until we do our final fitting. Our final fitting is today. So how do you feel about the pants? Okay, so we got everything fitting them real good. I haven't removed any of the excess fabric yet because I wanted to make sure that it fit, but it fits him really well. Yeah, I like it. In the body, we took in the pants. Those are fitting him much, much better. We got those done. So all I got to do is do the cleanup part, you know, just making sure everything is nice and clean and pressed and fresh. And the buttons came out really good too. Yeah. Yep, they look really nice. Where you want to put the brooch? Yeah, I think that looks good. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah. All right, you happy? All right, I'm gonna clean it up, make sure everything's good, and we're gonna be good. Now let me show you how it looked finished and how he styled it. Y'all, absolute perfection. 10 out of 10, 10s across the board. It was everything with the fresh braids, the chains, the brooch, the docks, head to toe. It was literally everything, like everything. And I'm so glad everything turned out good. He went to prom with his best friend, also another friend of my daughter. She's in the same dance company as my daughter. So they went together as best friends, and I'm sure they had an amazing time. They both looked great. And I'm just excited that I was able to accomplish this. Like I said, it was a bigger task than I thought it was going to be, because I was just hoping the suit would have fitted more in the beginning, but I'm just grateful that we were able to accomplish it, and he was happy and that he trusted me with such an important task. So I want to say a big thank you for that trust. And I am so excited for you guys to see next week's video, because this was suits. Now next week we're going to be talking about dresses. So yes, if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe, because you don't want to miss it. And that's not all. In the meantime, I have a ton of other videos for you to watch. Upcycles upon upcycles upon upcycles. So if you are interested, definitely take a look, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.